Come on, do it.
Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel, Just Be, because just being yourself is enough. I'm Etienne.
And I'm Domingo, and in this channel we are here to support you to whoever you want to be.
On our newest segment of Free to Feel, today we're gonna talk about something that was in relationship about another topic we had last month, which was anxiety and having to live through depression and through constant stress that is either external or internal.
Coping mechanisms.
Yeah. And during the years, I've seen so many people in my entourage just crumbling down and falling because of pressure that they would put on themselves or just stress and anxiety. And as you know, I'm a first grade teacher, so
Surrounded by stress and anxiety.
it's like
Riddled with anxiety.
teacher equal anxiety.
Yeah.
And even my fellow coworkers, they say being a teacher is a never-ending job. There's always something to do in your class. There's always something you can prepare, someone you can improve, something you can...
Always something to do.
Always something. So it's a never-ending job, even though you're supposed to be paid that amount.
Clock in, clock
hour.
out, it never
Yeah.
ends.
Never ends. And you need to take care of your kids. You need to take care of your class. You need to take care of the curriculum. You need to take care of
right? So it's
everything.
yeah.
The fellow coworkers and the school board and the government and your principal. And at some point, I saw tons and tons and tons of other teachers saying, "Hey, I need help. This is too much." And I was doing my practicum when I was listening to those teachers that were having enough, that it was too much for them, and they just couldn't cope with it. So I always told myself, I will never fall because of my job. I will never let stress and anxiety take over me.
You made a commitment not to fail yourself in your position.
Yeah, because if you don't take care of yourself, no one will. You need to take care of yourself first in order to be able to take care of your students or your coworkers or your principal or your government. Because if you're down and you need to spend 8 months or 10 months or a year in your bed because it's too hard to get up, then everybody is losing. And we don't want that. So just like on a flight, you need to put on your mask before helping the person next to you.
That's a really good rule. That's a really, really good rule.
So, in order for me to make you feel a little bit better about the stress that you had to endure with your job, and I hope you will take that advice too, I asked Domingo to do every day that he would go to work, to do one thing that is crucial, that is important. One thing to do in your day. Whether it's 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, when you wake up, you need to tell yourself, I will be able to do this one thing.
So it's project based. So basically what I do as an administrator, there's a lot of moving parts in my role. And with that said, I also have staff, and I also have a few different interactions, and it just gets so involved that sometimes you have to step back and say, okay, what are the priorities that I have for that day? And what would be that one thing out of those priorities that needs to get done because of either it's needed to have a timeline in it. And just going back to one of the biggest principles is being smart, specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, and timely. So when you have that in mind, it's still so easy to kind of get wrapped around with all the tasks that you need to get done in a day, because there's just so much hours in a day and you have so much work to do. And if you're caught in that position, you have to just really look for that one thing that if your life depends on one thing, what would that one thing be? And that's what you do. And then you go into the next one, and then you go into the next one. And project based, you have to be smart about everything.
And when I started my first year here in Calgary, all the principals were like, oh yeah, we are paid 40 hours to work, but it's a non-written rules that everyone's doing at least 60 to 70 hours a week. And I was like, you guys are dumb. No, I'm not gonna do that, because I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fail at 40 years old and then never gonna be able to recover from it. No, no.
Which makes you really efficient in a way, because you're so focused in one thing and completing that one thing that you take all of the distractions and nuances around you in order for you to get that job done. It's really one thing that saved me. And I know that for very worst cases for anxiety, that you do one thing at a time. Now that I've been practicing it so much, I limit myself to a maximum of 5 things that I needed to get done in a day, and minimum of 3, because it's just that I have so much things to do. And there's always interruptions during my day, which is part of the role, and just putting out fires with the position that I have. And if I provide myself, I know that it's going to be a busy day because I have a few presentations that I need to get done, then I do 3 priorities and 3 projects. And if my day seems to be that it's just me and my staff, then I do 5, because there's always something that would come up, and you can't really be bogged down by the things that would come up, because you really do need to be flexible.
And the other thing that is super important that I told myself, the one thing that you do in your job, yes, it needs to be mandatory and super important, but it needs to be easy, achievable, obtainable. So usually the thing that I tell myself that I need to do takes maximum 15 minutes to do. And usually I start working at 8:50, and by 10:30 I'm already like, yeah, I've already done my thing today. So everything from 10:30 to the rest of my day is bonus. Oh, I was able to successfully do this task. Good. Oh, I did this task as well. Oh, I did this task as well. Yeah. I was able to achieve 15 tasks, considering that 14 of them were bonuses. Party! So I leave the parking lot and I go home and I'm like, I was so freaking successful. I did this, I did that. Instead of saying, oh, I had 30 things to do and I only did 15. I'm such a failure. No.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, though, and thank you for sharing that with me when you had the chance about years ago. Sometimes I go to work super early when no one's there, so that I can do what my personal professional goal is, and then I can do what I'm supposed to do with team. So because you're working with yourself, with the students that you have, in my position, I have to be in teamwork all the time. However, for me to be able to disseminate information to my team, I need to also take time for myself so I can plan things, because your execution is as good as your organizational planning. So I take time by myself, so I come in early so I get no distractions. So as soon as I get that priority out of my way, the rest is bonus. Whatever I do with my team, it's a plus, because then I was able to disseminate that with ease, because I've already planned it without having to take that time that I'm supposed to be with my team, because I took that on myself and I did everything that I could to prioritize that. And for you to listen to this and say, oh, well, you have a teamwork and then you have your individual work, you might think that that's two jobs. You can't have a teamwork without you as a leader putting together a structure for the work that you need to do as a team. So to me, that's one job. There's always preparation. So whatever you need to get done, plan ahead, be nice to yourself, being either smart in an organizational structure, specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, and timely, or as what Etienne would say, make your task easy. Like printing, I like one of the things that he needed to get done for his job that he's like super stressed about is to put together your initial September things, like a plan for the rest of the year.
The long-term plan.
And the long-term plan, and he has to print, and there's so many little tasks that needs to get done, but he took it as a one job where I have to plan today. Tomorrow I'm gonna print what my plan is after typing it out. And then the next day I'm going to distribute it. So work backwards, and this is the biggest key is if you're a student, and I know I was really bad at this growing up, procrastination. Procrastinating doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work. So
Especially in our job because something always comes up.
yeah, so if you're leaving things the last minute, you might as well say goodbye to the job that you're supposed to do because that will never happen.
Yeah, like those teachers who have until Sunday midnight to finish the report card and they decide to start on Sunday afternoon.
And then they become so stressed, they're crying, and it's like, girl, you knew that this was coming.
It's always coming since you were in kindergarten and you're now 56 years old.
And you know what? I have been in so many positions and times as well where I have had to revise so many things because of, again, collaborative things in teams. And but the concept there is coming in with a priority, and in that priority, if you only have 2 hours to do one thing out of the priorities that you have, which one would you do? Which one would you ask yourself, if my life depended on it, I cannot live without? And in layman's terms, let's just be a little bit more easy about myself or ourselves. In my bag, there's always 4 things. There's keys, a lip gloss,
Your wallet.
sunglasses, and my wallet. That's right. If I have to take one thing, or if I only have to take one item that my life would depend on it,
Ooh.
I am going to step back and say, what does my life look like right now? What situation am I in? If I'm on my way home and I'm hungry, then I would need my keys. But if I'm on my way home and there's a restaurant, then I would only take my wallet. You see what I'm saying?
So you're not picking the lip gloss?
I always want to pick the lip gloss, but sometimes it never happens. That's what I'm saying. All of these 4 are my priority, but which one is it that I can't live in the next half an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours? Maybe it's my keys, maybe it's my lip gloss, maybe it's my wallet, or maybe it's my sunglasses. In a perfect world, I'd be able to have all 4 of them, which I always do. That's why I'm very thankful. But in situations where you have to prioritize, do one thing, that's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, it's all about perception. And at the end of the day, when you're finished with your work and you come home, then you feel good about yourself and you can give yourself a treat. Like you just came home today and you were like, I want Prosecco, I want Prosecco.
Which I still haven't had. So I have to do all of these before I can.
And then you'll deserve it.
And then
And
the
you'll love
celebration, it's much more meaningful. That's
So,
a good one, actually.
I think
Instead of telling yourself that you're punishing yourself until you finish your job, no, it's a reward. Finish it and then get a reward.
then you can feel your oats. So if you have any comments, just put them down below. Remember to click the like button and of course to subscribe.
Yes,
We
yes.
need you. Etienne.
And I'm Domingo, and always remember to just be